Hello, everybody. How are you all doing? Oh, that's right. I have to share the screen, don't I? Yeah, thanks for catching me. I was about to start teaching and not actually having the screen be shared. Can you guys see it? Okay. I know it's got your face over here on the right, but don't worry, people can't see that because the way that the OBS is set up, it's all hidden by these things. Oh, I know. You're all right. Well, welcome to the first lesson. It says lesson one, but there's actually a lot of information in here. So hopefully it won't be too overwhelming. Um, how many of you know a lot of like the language words? Like when we say stuff like distal, well, you probably don't know distal and polite, but like positive, non-past verbs, subjects, objects. Are you guys familiar with those words? Do you know what they mean? Okay, that's as far as we're gonna go. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. As much as they're annoying to learn, it becomes very easy to communicate what I'm trying to teach if we actually learn the words. So we will be learning a few words that are going to come up in this lesson with rough English equivalents to help explain what it might actually mean. But that's not what we're doing today. Then we're also going to have some drills and conversations. I'm going to change these bold things to look different. You'll see what I'm going to do for the intonation. But there's just going to be very basic sentences and like responses. And then you're going to see a pattern, and then you will plug and chug new words in there, and hopefully memorize how to speak a little bit. You'll notice it's got the kana. So the kana is like the Japanese writing because there's hiragana, katakana. They both have the word kana in them. Uh, there are kanji, but you don't need to know the kanji. And immediately underneath it, I have how to read it in basically English. It's called romaji, but it's basically English, followed by the translation, or at least a translation. You'll learn more about how annoying context is later. And then here's the vocabulary. And then we're going to talk about the grammar points after that. And hopefully that'll be an exciting lesson for everybody. What are you ready to go? That's the amount of intensity I am looking for in this lesson. Yeah. That's just gonna be great because that's gonna go on YouTube. It's gonna be, are you guys ready to go? Followed by a 4 second pause and it'll be beautiful. It'll be beautiful. Okay. Anyone out there in YouTube, Sylvania, these lessons are going to be happening about 3 times a week, give or take. I have kids and things are going to happen. And they're going to be through YouTube. And actually, we're going through Skype for those who pledge $5 a month. So this is pretty much the cheapest Japanese lessons you're going to get. And come on and join. Come on and join. We got two right now, and they're a couple. It's a husband and a wife who run a. Is it okay if I say the name of the store? Or are you sure? Okay, so they run a. It's a video game store or just games in general. Okay, called Rock'em and collectibles. Called Rock'em Sock'em. Is that right? Rock'em Sock'em Retro. My mistake, and that's out in near Toledo, not actually Toledo, but near Toledo, right? Ohio, that is. Okay, great. Well, it looks like the husband John doesn't know that much Japanese and is scared of language and words. So we're going to try to go through these vocabulary. So, okay, once again, this is the kana. That's what it's going to look like when you start weaning yourself off of this stuff down here. This is called romaji, okay? Romaji, it's called romaji because it's from Rome, and the G stands for characters. It literally means Roman letters. Romaji, okay? Okay, that's great. Great, awesome. I'm glad we all agree on that. Okay. Well, then I'll stop asking for affirmations. Okay, so these crazy characters down here, there's two little small characters up here, but you see this one that's way more complicated. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's called a kanji. And we're not memorizing those now and probably not for a while. But these other guys are hiragana, the two that are up here too. It's hard to see them. Hopefully you can see my mouse above them. Those are called the hiragana, and that's pretty much the most basic of you could say 4 alphabets of Japanese. There's hiragana, katakana, kanji, and then you're also seeing romaji down here. Romaji is going to be your friend if you don't know these words. Okay, just in case we don't know our pronunciation, Japanese only has 5 vowel sounds. Every single time you see a U, pretty much without exception, it's going to be pronounced oo. Okay? Okay, good. I was afraid that one was going to be left hanging too. Every time every time you see the letter I, it's going to be pronounced, unfortunately for all of us, like an E. It's going to be E. I'll just assume we got that. And all the A's are going to be pronounced ah. Like I don't know, an opera singer. Oh, no, you're fine. She's just trying to have fun. So for this one, it's oo, e, ah. And then actually, you'll notice that all of these, notice I say verbs. All of these are called verbs. These are all verbs. They all end in mas. We'll talk about why that is later, but just be aware that that's mas. Even though there's a oo at the end, it's actually not pronounced, okay? Okay. All right, so TS. What's that? What do you mean? The A's and the E's? Oh, yeah, yeah. Sorry, we were gonna jump into that soon. Yeah, no, you're right. We got ooh, e. No, you are totally fine. You're totally fine. I was just gonna pronounce this word first once, and then move on to the next one, and we'll eventually get through them all. But it was, you know what? No. You asked. We got an O. Do you see where I'm highlighting down here? The O. It's pronounced O. Pretty basic. And the other one would be the it's a letter E. So notice how this is a letter E, but the I is pronounced as E. The reason why we have this annoying confusion is because the letter E is pronounced as E. Like my beautiful name, Evan. And then we also, so those are the 5 ones. A, E, which is an I. U, E, O. A, E, U, E, O. Just really quickly, A, E, U. Technically that one's not an U, but whatever. And A, E, U, E, and O. Okay? Okay, cool. Now that's it. You're going to notice right away that I decided to start off with one of the most annoying of the sounds in Japanese. This is a T followed by an S. Imagine the word boots, like put on your boots, and just take off that final oots, and then the ts right there. That's the sound you want, and it just goes tsu. We're not learning hiragana right now, but you can see this first character, this first letter up here that I'm trying to show with my cursor, but it's hard to see. That first little guy above the kanji is tsu, followed by ku. I'm just showing you how hiragana works, by the way. You don't have to memorize this. This is ku, followed by ri, which is ri, followed by ma, I can highlight it there, followed by su. Normally that's pronounced su, but here it's just going to be pronounced s. And that's just because they're verbs. Okay? It's just a special thing on these ones. All right. Now, instead of explaining what a verb is, all these fancy words are, we're just going to practice memorizing these words a little bit, okay? Pronunciation, really. Here we go. Tsukurimasu. Yeah, great. Yes, I should have said perfect. I should have said repeat after me. Tsukurimasu. Great. You're going to notice that there's a little guy rising up on the U and dropping down on the A. That's for intonation. I'm not going to harp on intonation yet, but Japanese intonation is literally just down and up. When we speak in English, we have a wide berth of intonations, and it's very fascinating to hear all the... So, hopefully you can hear that. It's a difference between saying the word, I don't know, microphone and microphone. You hear how that sounds different, right? If somebody talked like that, you would imagine they were having a stroke, right? However, we're obviously foreigners. We have white skin and different colored hair and blah, 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 blah. We don't fit in. They're going to give you a pass, okay? So don't worry too much. Sometimes not getting intonation right will bite you in the bum. So we should get it right as much as possible, but I'm not going to harp on that right now. Just so you're aware, it's basically just down, and then when we see this up slash, sorry, Microsoft Word is trying to get in my way. When we see that little up slash, we're just going to just raise it a pitch. So, tsukurimasu, and then bring it down. Tsukurimasu, tsukurimasu, tsukurimasu. It'll sound it's gonna sound funny at first, and then this will come out more clearly in the conversation. So don't worry about it too much. I'm just gonna say the words close enough to the accent and have you guys repeat them. Okay, one more time. Tsukurimasu, and that means to make something. We're gonna build something. We're gonna construct something. Here we have. Notice how this accent we just have it goes up and down both on the ah. That just means that a sound is just gonna be high and then immediately back down. Shimasu. Yeah. Yeah, good. Shi followed by mas. Shimasu. And that means to do something. Shimasu, I know do seems vague. It's going to be one of the widest, craziest verbs that we use. All right. Dekimasu. And that means to complete an action, to complete something, or it can mean to be able to do. You're going to see this meaning a lot more, but I'm going to try to hit this meaning a little bit more in the beginning because otherwise you might forget it. All right, here we have tabemasu. It almost sounds Italian. Tabemasu. Don't worry too much about it. Don't worry about it. Honestly, when it's just one word by itself, really the intonation isn't as important. And that means eat. So you're going to be tabemasuing some sandwiches or pizza. All right, here we have nomimasu. Nomimasu. Yeah. Good. It's good that you're looking for it. It's good that you're looking for it. And that didn't sound bad. Don't worry. No, it didn't sound bad. It didn't sound bad. And that means drink. That's fine. That's fine. We're all at different levels. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. That means to drink. Honestly, if you don't get your intonation right, it's not going to be a huge deal. I'm not gonna harp on it. My intonation isn't perfect either, so don't worry about it. All right, nomimasu, drink. Here we have to understand, which is kind of like to get it. Okay, not as soon as I say get it, it kind of sounds like it has like two meanings. It's like I'm gonna get it. All right, wakarimasu. Yeah, wakarimasu. Okay, great. Next we have kimasu. Is that your son? Great. Was that your daughter? Or is it a daughter or a son? Son. Sorry, was that your son chirping a little bit in the background? My 4-year-old daughter just blabs nonstop. Anyway, one more time. Kimasu. And that means to come to a location. I have to be careful because that has funny meanings. All right. Kaimasu. Everyone always does, so I have to point out the fact there's a joke there, but I also have to not make the joke. Otherwise, all right, here we go. One more time on the next one. Kaimasu. Yeah, great. Kaimasu. This is to buy something. Kaimasu. So you guys are using your kaimasus over at your stores and your urimasus. I don't have urimasu here, but whatever. Kaimasu, to buy, to purchase. All right. Ikimasu. Yeah, good. That is to go to a location. Kimas and ikimas function a little bit differently than come and go in English, but we won't get into that right now. All right, next. Yomimasu. Yeah, great. That's to read a book. Yomimasu, ikimasu, kimasu, kaimasu, wakarimasu, nomimasu, dekimasu, tabemasu, shimasu, tsukurimasu. You have them all memorized, right? Well, let's learn some more. Hanashimasu. I don't know what part made you laugh so much, but hanashimasu. I'll send you a copy of this stuff when I'm done, and I'll try to send you guys the updated. I'm sorry. I should have explained that. I'm sorry. No, you don't have to write all this down. No. Take your time. Hanashimasu. And that is Yeah, good job. Sorry. That is to speak. For example, you guys hanashimasu English very well, I hope. Next one, shigaimasu. Yeah, this is something is different, something differs, or it is wrong or incorrect. That doesn't it doesn't seem like that would be a verb in English, but it is. Um, okay, next we have the word. We're gonna have some. These are technically adverbs because of the way they function. You don't need to really worry about what an adverb is right now. The word for today is kyo. Yeah, great. Kyo. Today. Really quickly, notice how we do have a K followed directly by a Y sound. You haven't really seen that yet. And that's just a function of, the way that the language works. You're probably like, who cares? I didn't even notice that was a thing, which is good. All right, next. This E in ashita isn't pronounced too hard. So we're just going to kind of slur over it. Ashita. You could say ashita, but you yeah, it's very, very, very infrequently pronounced. Whenever you see a she followed by a hard consonant like a ta, very frequently that e sound is gone, and I have to be careful of how I highlight that because otherwise a word appears that I don't want people to see. All right. So you're gonna notice how they all end in mas, right? And when you see that, this is that last "oo" is not pronounced, and there will be occasionally other words that have that where it's not pronounced, but definitely in this mas pattern. There is a grammatical reason for that that will be easy to see, but I don't want to throw a lot of crazy words at you. But it's good that you're noticing that that's specifically with the verbs. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I should have mentioned that. Yeah, when you have an O sound followed by an oo, it just elongates that O sound. We could write this. You'll see in some textbooks. I'm just gonna change that really quickly. How does this work? You might see it written like, what is it? 014. I had to memorize all these or learn all these codes. D followed by Alt X. You'll sometimes see it written like that, and that just means like an elongated O sound. Kyo. I don't like doing that personally because I like to remind people that there is that oo there in the hiragana. All right. There we go. Great. Kyo. Kyo. Plus, also, it comes down on that final oo. Or before the final oo, because it's kyo. That's another reason why I don't like to use that elongated dash. Everyone gets mad at me when I type in Romaji, but I tell them, there's a reason for it. Okay, great. Even this CHI in the textbook that I liked the most, you'll see this as a T, even though it's pronounced chigaimasu. I'm leaving it as a CH just because I don't want to overly confuse everybody. And there is a reason to make it a T there, but let's not get into that. All right, next we have eh. Yeah, I'm not gonna let go by. Okay, eh. Yeah, great. This one I would say is actually kind of important. Eh, eh. All right, here we have. That just means yes, but I want to make sure that we understand it kind of more means the idea of correct. What you said was correct. I agree with what you said. That'll become a problem when we start agreeing to negative sentences and disagreeing with positives or disagreeing with negative sentences. Anyway, next we have hai. 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 This is the one word that everyone knows in Japanese. All right. Next we have ya. Yeah. You're gonna hear people say stuff like yeah, and that just means no. So yeah, that means it's another way of saying no. That's just one of the more casual ways of saying no. I shouldn't call it casual, but it's easier to say than yeah, yeah, and that means no. I disagree with what you said. What you said was incorrect, something like that. All right. I feel bad. I forgot your wife's name. What's your name? Kayla. Hello, I'm Clint. Okay, sorry. I should know your name. I'm bad with names. Everyone who knows me knows that I'm bad with names. I'm going to forget all of your names over and over again. So just yell at me until I get it right. It is great. I got it right. You know how I memorized your name or how I remembered it? I was like, wait, I saw her name on Skype. It was, that's right. I saw the Kayla. And that bailed me out right there. No, I'm really bad with names. These are called particles. Kayla will be aware of what a particle is because you probably studied it. Am I correct? Okay. What is it? What does a ka do? Exactly. So really, I'm not going to talk about what a particle is really quickly, but just be aware that this is a new category of quote unquote words that English speakers are just completely unfamiliar with. Okay? We will get there when we do the grammar, but until then, let's just deal with the fact that particles exist. All right, ka. And sorry, I always want to jump up and keep going. Question. It is like a question marker. Now, notice how I didn't add a pronunciation here or an intonation, but really the intonation is almost always going to be ka. Ikimasu. Yeah. Most questions end in a ka, like da 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 ka, and it almost always is that higher intonation. Yeah, great. Yeah, sorry. And then this is something that sounds weird on asserting information. Yo. Yeah, so you know how there's all the rappers who are like, "Yo, dog." It actually kind of works that way. Like you're trying to get attention and like assert a fact. So you're like, "Yo, dog, don't trip," and like you're telling him you should not trip. Yeah, dog. Hey, don't you collaborate and listen? What are the Beastie Boys like? I have another student who I'm teaching Japanese to, and he studied Spanish in high school, and every time that we do a new word or something like that, he has to take the word, filter it through the Spanish he's learned into the English. Like he has to actually go through the two languages that he has to go Japanese, and then for some reason Spanish comes out, so he has to translate it from Spanish. It's the weirdest thing. So all right. So that is the lesson for today. Just going over vocabulary. We'll talk about what verbs, adverbs, other, and particles mean later. I will send you a copy of this. Try to have the vocabulary memorized as best as you can. I mean, this isn't too serious, but try to have it memorized at least a little bit by Friday. Or what is, yeah, Friday, right? Yeah, Friday. Okay. Okay, great. Well, hey, you know, we're gonna have sushi together. All right. I'm gonna stop recording. Boop.